Some time, so I would like to chat with ChatGPT about some vocabularies I have picked up from news. It's Indonesia anti-government protest. Anger grows after rideshare driver killed by police. Okay, so I got some vocabularies from this news. So now call ChatGPT. Hello, ChatGPT.
안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 편하게
Same.
뭐든지 물어보세요.
I'm speaking English. I'm speaking English, man. I don't speak Korean.
Oh, got it. No worries at all. I'll switch right back to English. If there's anything else you need, just let me know.
Okay, so today is Monday, the first day of September. So not yet. I still have some time to learn English. So I decided to have English class with you. So you okay?
Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. I'm totally here for an English class with you. Just let me know what you'd like to focus on or what you're in the mood to practice today.
Okay, so I just grabbed some vocabularies, some words from the news, and the news is about Indonesia anti-government protests. So I just want to know what happened. In what's the capital of Indonesia?
Yeah, of course. The capital of Indonesia is Jakarta. So if you've got any news related to anti government protests there, it's probably happening in or around Jakarta. Feel free to share
It's
any vocab you
Jakarta.
came
Okay,
across.
it's Jakarta. Did you know that news?
Yeah, exactly. It's Jakarta. And, there's often a lot going on there because it's such a big, bustling capital. So if you got any words or phrases from that news piece you want to break down, just let me know and we can dive into this together.
Okay, if you know what happened, just tell me what happened. Because what happened in Jakarta while there's protests, they're anti-government.
Sure. So right now in Jakarta, there are indeed some anti government protests happening. Basically, the main trigger was about economic issues and the perks that lawmakers were receiving. Things got more intense after a young delivery driver was actually killed by a police vehicle during one of these protests. And even though the president did try to calm things down by canceling some of those controversial allowances, the protests are still ongoing. There's been some unrest, some fires, a bit of looting in different parts of the city. So that's the gist of what's happening right now.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's review the words I have just picked up. The first word is violent. Violent meaning force, physical, I don't know how to pronounce it. Aggressione. How to pronounce this word?
Absolutely. Let's go over it. So the word is pronounced aggression. It basically means forceful or violent behavior, kind of like physical aggression is when someone uses physical force or violence. So, yeah, you've got it right.
Okay, so I know this word is violent. Now the protests they're from they're from peaceful shit. Let me say it again. The protests are from peacefully to the violent now in Jakarta.
Yeah, exactly. You're on the right track. So you could say the protests in Jakarta shifted from being peaceful to becoming violent. And don't worry about stumbling over words, that's all part of practicing.
Stumbling. What's mean stumbling?
Sure. So stumbling just means kind of tripping or making a small mistake. Like when you're speaking and you pause or have to repeat yourself, you're just stumbling over your words a bit.
So I just
Totally.
stumbling. Okay, sometimes when speaking, I just stumbling, right?
Exactly. You've got it. So if you're speaking and you kind of trip over a word or hesitate, that's just stumbling. And it's completely normal. It's all part of the process of getting more comfortable with the language. So you're doing great.
Okay, so I really like. Okay, so next, I'm gonna use a violent to make example. So I'm a big fan of violent movie. So if there's a one violent movie coming, I'll be watch it. I'll be go to watch it.
That sounds like a perfect example. So you could say, I'm a big fan of violent movies. If there's a violent movie coming out, I'll definitely go watch it. And that sounds natural. It's a good way to practice using the word in a sentence.
Okay, next is kind of phrase. Next, let's move on. Next, deployed water cannon. In deploy water cannon, water cannon is like a big machine, a big water machine, like can just powerful large machine that shoots water at high pressure.
Yeah, you've got it exactly right. So when they say deploy a water cannon, they mean using this big machine that sprays water at high pressure. usually to control or disperse crowds during a protest. So you're spot on with that definition.
Okay, good. Thank you. So what can I deploy? Deploy is could you use deploy make some samples? Thank you. Just how I know this word and when I use the word sell or some like kind of like websites and I'm everything done with my website and there's deployed button, which means like maybe it's public my product my website.
Absolutely. That's a great connection. So deploy can mean putting something into use or making it publicly available. For example, you might say, once I finish building my website, I click the deploy button to make it live for everyone to see. Or in another context, you could say the company decided to deploy new software across all their offices. So yeah, it's basically about putting something out there for use, whether it's a website
So
or
what's the difference between deployed and release on will?
yeah, great question. So deploy and release are pretty similar, but there's a subtle difference. When you say deploy, it often has a sense of putting something into operation or rolling it out in a technical or strategic way, like deploying software, deploying an update, or even deploying a team. It's kind of about the action of putting something into place. Release, on the other hand, is more about making something available to the public or to users. So you might release a new product, release a new version of an app, or release a movie. It's more about that moment.
Okay, so here's my question. Like in from my team, like we'll update our system every week. So every Friday, we'll the users use our phone. They will get the notifications update. They can update some new features and some bug fixed. So should I say deployed or release in here?
Yeah, in that scenario, release is probably the more natural fit. So you'd say something like, we release a new update every Friday because it's about making that update available to your users. They get notified and then they can install it. So release just captures that idea of making it public or available each week.
Okay, that's good. So let's move on next one.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling. Just let me know the next word or phrase you want to dive into and we'll tackle it together.
Okay, and next one is low wages. Low wages, like why they are protest because of low wages.
Yeah, exactly. So low wages just means that people are being paid a relatively small amount of money for their work. And if that's one of the reasons for the protests, it totally makes sense. People are often protesting because they feel like they're not earning enough to live on or they want better pay and working conditions. So that's definitely a key phrase to understand in that context.
Okay, so low wages, the money workers earn for a job usually paid by hour, day, or week. So low wages just it's not compensation or salary.
Yeah, you've got it. Wages are basically the money you earn, often calculated by the hour or by the week. And when we say low wages, we just mean the pay is on the lower side and not very high. It's definitely not about a fixed salary or a big compensation package. So you've explained it perfectly.
Okay, can I say like we're talking about okay this person he has a low wages so his life is kind of miserable but it's terrible. But on the other hand, his one of his friend has a higher wage has a high wage and the life is pretty good. I'll say that.
Yeah, absolutely. You could say something like, this person is earning low wages, so his life is kind of difficult or challenging. Meanwhile, his friend earns a higher wage and has a pretty comfortable life. So that's a nice, simple way to put it, and it makes the comparison really clear.
Okay, so could you say that again? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Of course, no problem at all. So you could just say, this person is on low wages, so life is a bit tough for him. On the other hand, his friend has a higher wage and a more comfortable life. That's all there is to it.
That's good. Okay, so this person on a low wage. Okay, so higher. What's the meaning of higher? HUNGR higher.
Yeah, absolutely. So hire, spelled HYRE,
No, no,
basically
no, no.
means
Okay,
to
I'll
give.
spell to you. Okay. Okay, okay. So the Cersei has worsened that higher Indonesian president. Higher, just HUNGER.
Got it. You're talking about hunger. So hunger just means the feeling of needing food or being really hungry. So if you see that word in the news, it's about people not having enough to eat. Thanks for clarifying that. And yeah, hunger is all about the need for
Yeah,
food.
hunger. It's a hunger, but I was wondering, like in Hangul, we can, when talking about angry, we can use the hunger as well. Like, I feel so hunger about, I feel so, I don't know how to say it. This like in this literal meaning, the feeling of need food when your stomach, but figurative meaning a strong desire or need for something. Like she has a hunger for success.
Yeah, exactly. You've got it. So, hunger does literally mean that feeling of needing food, like when you're starving, but you can also use it figuratively, just like you said. So, if someone has a hunger for success, it just means they have a really strong desire or drive to achieve it. So, you can totally use
Hunger.
it that way too.
Okay. Okay, so it means the situation made the lack of food or people suffering from not having enough to eat even worse. Okay, so hunger. Okay, excessive was like EXCESSIVE.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hunger in that situation is about people not having enough food. Now, the word excessive, that just means something is too much or more than is needed. So, if something is excessive, it's kind of over the top or more than what's considered reasonable. So, yeah, it's the meaning of excessive.
Okay, next word is mobs. MOBS. MOB.
Got it. So, mobs basically refers to large, disorderly crowds of people, often ones that might be angry or ready to cause some trouble. So, if you hear about mobs in the news, it's usually about a big crowd of people that might be acting kind of out of control. So, that's what mob
Negative,
means.
angry, violent, out of control. Mobs. Crowd is just many people. And mobs is negative. Okay, so difference. Okay, so a mob of fun surrounded the celebrity at the airport. Okay, the angry mob attacked the police station. The shop was looted by the mob during the protest. Okay, so okay, mob mentality that is often used to like news like that. Okay. Okay, so they're really, there's the mobs really out of control. They do a lot of violence to against the government.
Yeah, you've summed it up really
Against,
well.
I
So,
think I got this word against this. PARIAMENT. What's that?
oh, that word is parliament. So, parliament is basically a governing body or a legislative assembly in many countries. It's the group of people who make the laws. So, if you hear about parliament in the news, it just means they're talking about the country's legislative body. So, yeah, that's parliament.
Parliament. Okay, parliament. I say parliament. Parliament is a main law-making group. Parliaments in many countries. It's usually made up of uh, elected representatives, members of parliament, who make discuss and vote on laws. In some countries, it has two parts. For example, in the UK, House of Commons plus House of Lords. Example sentence: the new law was debated in Parliament. Right? It's Parliament.
Yeah, you've got it perfectly. Parliament is exactly that. It's the main lawmaking group in many countries, made up of elected representatives. And in some places, like the UK, it has two parts, the House of Commons and the House of Lords. So you can definitely say something like the new law was debated in Parliament. You got it exactly right.
Parliament. Next one is clash. CLASH. What's meaning?
Yeah, sure. So clash basically means a conflict or a fight between two groups. It can be a physical confrontation, like when protesters clash with police, or it can be more of a verbal or ideological conflict. So anytime two sides strongly disagree and it leads to a confrontation, you can call it a clash.
Oh, I see. So it's a conflict. Literal meaning when two groups of people come into conflict with each other. It can be fighting, a violent encounter, or even strong disagreement. So protesters clashed with police in the streets, so they fought each other. The two leaders clashed over economy policy. Their personalities often clash. They don't get along. Okay, their personalities often clash. They don't get along, which means 他们三观不合 in Chinese, I think.
Exactly, you've got it. So a clash can be a physical confrontation or it can be just a strong disagreement. Like you said, even personalities clashing when people don't see eye to eye. And yeah, in Chinese, you could definitely think of it